The fight is upon us. After 6 months of buildup, the Saiyans will confront Granolah in a clash of destiny in Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 72. So welcome to the first in a trilogy of videos here on the Geek Them 101 channel with Mr. Senpai discussing Chapter 72 of the manga and beyond. And the big story is that Goku and Vegeta are on their way to planet Cereal to confront Granolah as part of the Heater's evil plot of manipulation to get them to fight each other while they have their own sinister motives. So we're going to be discussing a lot of things in this video, like Goku versus Granolah, Vegeta versus Granolah, UI, Hakai, and make sure you Hakai that like button for me because it does help out the YouTube algorithm and the channel. Show us some love and subscribe if you are new. We talk about Dragon Ball here all the damn time. Okay, so the first question I have for you, bro. Goku and Vegeta are going to confront Granolah. Chapter 72. Who fights first? Sometimes we see Vegeta fight first, like in the Broly movie. Sometimes Goku will fight first, like in Resurrection F. Who do you think will be fighting Granolah first, Goku or Vegeta? And I want everybody down there in the comment section to write down who you think is going to fight first. Go.
I'm willing to bet my Tesla stocks that Vegeta is going to fight first. And let me tell you why.
I'm not betting mine.
So the reason why he has to fight first is because this saga has shown us he has something to prove. He wants to prove himself to Goku, to Beerus. Right. Beerus is excited for this. He's having it's almost like a wager with Whis. At this point in time, when he has the opportunity to fight the strongest in the universe, Goku, we already know he has Ultra Instinct. We know what that's about. But Vegeta, this is something new. We haven't seen him use this new sort of Hakai-ish technique, and we're gonna see it in action, which is why he has to fight first.
Hakai-ish technique? I mean, it is the Hakai, but we just don't know if he really can pull it off on Granolah. We're gonna talk more about that later, though. We'll talk about more about Hakai later on in this video, so stay tuned for that. But I want to discuss Goku versus Granolah, because here's the thing. The fandom seems to believe, not everyone, but I've seen some comments from people saying that they think that Granolah might know Ultra Instinct, and the only real evidence that there is, right, is the finger thing from with the fight with oil. Is that's not enough evidence for me. Well, do you know what I'm talking about?
The finger thing, bro. So some of the people in the fandom literally looking at this one part of the manga. Granolah is using his finger to fight against oil. And then that was in chapter 70. And then in chapter 71, Goku stops with his staff with one finger. Just because you can use your finger doesn't mean you suddenly have Ultra Instinct.
And I can do a lot of things with my finger, bro, but I don't have Ultra Instinct.
On the surface, this is a fair point. It's the fact that Granolah so far has been able to dodge every attack. But here's the problem. A lot of people are now confusing the ability to dodge with that meaning you have Ultra Instinct. Bro, before Ultra Instinct was a thing, characters can still dodge an attack as long as they have a lot of speed. Granolah obviously being the strongest or most powerful in the universe probably means that he has a lot of speed. That doesn't mean that he has Ultra Instinct. And the biggest reason why he doesn't. What is the requirement for Ultra Instinct, Geekdom?
You have to have a clear mind. And also, you don't just get it. It does take a long time of training if you're immortal. You know, they teased Ultra Instinct back in the Resurrection F movie, even though it wasn't really called that. But the idea of letting your body move on its own was talked about by Whis in that movie. And now here we are. We have Ultra Instinct. We saw it in the TOP. Granolah has not trained with any gods, doesn't know the technique, and when the wish was granted by the dragon, he said, you know, you're the strongest mortal, not necessarily the strongest god. No gods aren't included. So that, to me, does not necessarily mean that he just knows Ultra Instinct. It's a different kind of technique than a fireball or a Kamehameha.
And he doesn't have a clear mind and a clear heart. The moment you mention the word Saiyans or Frieza, he goes off. He goes crazy. He goes nuts. He is thinking about Revenge
PTSD.
24. Yeah, PTSD. So this is not a man who's going to be able to achieve Ultra Instinct, even no matter how powerful he is.
Yeah, and because of that, Goku may have the edge, because dodging is one thing, but being able to do UI levels of dodging is something else. Now, do you think, I forgot to ask this question, do you think that since the wish was made a little while ago, we had a time skip in the previous chapter, do you think that by now, because Granolah wished to be the strongest, and at that point he was, but also some time passed, and Goku and Vegeta kept training, do you think that by now Goku has surpassed Granolah from the wish? So in other words, his training has put him back over Granolah again.
So we have to look at the data. The data says It's been a couple of months. It's been some time since
Yeah, it's some
the
time.
Wish.
We don't know exactly how long.
We don't know exactly, but it's been some time since the Wish. That whole time, Granolah is either training on his own or sitting on his ass in his spaceship staring at Monaito. Whereas Goku and Vegeta have both been training, perfecting, or getting better with their new techniques. But at the same time, weaker characters who have better techniques can defeat stronger opponents. We've seen that.
Yeah, all throughout the series, yeah.
We did see that he has some new techniques that he didn't even know he had. He has apparently the ability to lift rocks, but does he have any god techniques? While I don't believe that Goku and Vegeta are stronger than Granolah per se, I do believe that their techniques and battle experience, these guys have much longer history fighting strong opponents, whereas Granolah, if you were to compare his lifespan to like a human, he'll probably be in his mid-20s. He doesn't have battle experience like these veteran fighters. Ultimately, they're gonna have the edge in that sense.
Not to mention that it's already been discussed, but if Goku and Vegeta team up against them, which they probably won't do because they usually fight one-on-one, that's been a thing since the Buu arc. Even before then, but if they go, I'm not even talking about Gogeta, but if they do Goku and Vegeta together against Granolah, even if Granolah's stronger than both of them combined is going to be too much for Granolah to handle. He's not going to be able to take them both on, not at this level. Yeah, I don't think so. Now let's talk about the Hakai. The Hakai, and don't forget to Hakai that like button, folks. It would help me out. So the Hakai, okay? People have really thought that Granolah knows the Hakai based on the fact that he disintegrated a rock. Now, we've seen rocks and things like that get destroyed all the time in Dragon Ball, but there's a certain way it was drawn to where many folks think that Granolah may know Hakai. Now, I discussed this in a video with MJ a few weeks ago, but he may not necessarily know the Hakai, because that's a god technique that Hakai should know, but he may know I guess maybe a mortal version of it, which was called by my friend Pride, it was called entropy. Obviously, the idea of entropy is like reverse particle destruction. Like you destroy something from the particle length. It's not something we've actually seen called that, but Granolah may have like a mortal version of Hakai. So do you think Granolah knows Hakai, bro? I'm skeptical, but entropy could be a possibility. What do you think?
I agree with you in that sense. I don't think he has the Hakai, but his techniques, the way that they're being shown, like you said, it's like the mortal version. That's not coming necessarily from technique, but it's coming just from pure power. I believe that the way that Toriyama is setting him up to be is to have a counter to the Hakai, but it isn't the Hakai.
Yeah, I actually had a feeling that there might be a possibility that he might actually know how to block Hakai, which I think is like maybe a little too OP because no one's really been able to do that. But again, it depends on if we're seeing the Topo version of Hakai or if we're seeing the Beerus version, because the Beerus version, you're out. You know, the Topo was more like a regular fireball. Yeah, so we'll see. But will Vegeta actually try and kill this guy, just straight up kill him? I mean, I feel like Hakai might be just a move that he's going to use just in case everything else fails. So my last question to you, bro, is will the fight end in chapter 72? Like, is the fight going to be just in 72 or will it go on to 73?
They've been hyping this up for a couple of chapters now. There's no way it's going to end as just one chapter, especially when you're looking at two fighters versus one, right? And they want to fight individually. So I would say, realistically, this would not end the next chapter. It's going to go into chapter 73. Ideally, you want to go into chapter 74, but it could end in chapter 73. And here's how I think it's going to end. So you ready for this? I don't think we're going to get a clear winner. And this is all Maki's fault. So if you want to be mad, blame her. Maki told Granolah that Goku and Vegeta are part of the Frieza Force. They're part of Frieza's army. That was a big mistake because at some point in this fight, you already know how these characters like to fight. They like to fight and talk all day long. At some point, Granolah's gonna be like, you are part of Frieza's army, and Goku's gonna be like, me? What are you talking about?
At some point, he's gonna realize they're not really part of Frieza's army, and
the truth will come out.
The truth will come out. Yeah, will he believe them though?
He seems like a gullible person so far.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but hopefully he'll realize that it's not true, and that'll lead us into the remainder of the story because the story's not going to end here. I don't think it's going to end here.
He may not realize that it's true, but Oatmeal appears to be a good judge of character, and Oatmeal might be able to say, "Hey, based on analyzing their vocal patterns, I think they're telling the truth." Granolah. Maybe Oatmeal is going to be the one to calm things down.
Or maybe the old Namekian, who knows? In the next video we're going to be doing in the trilogy, we're going to be discussing the Heaters plot because I think the big story here, the reason why they're going to fight this is not the end of the story. What's going to happen is while Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah are distracted, the Heaters are going to get the Dragon Balls and probably do some really sinister stuff that we'll discuss in the next video. So
like very, very sinister. Yeah, it's gonna get dark, and that's gonna be in the next video.
Yes, it is. And we'll see y'all in that one.